let's actually talk about the basics, retirements, and pensions, right? If someone's going to ask me about a month ago, how do policemen retire? I would have guessed a pension, right? Now, someone my age doesn't really know what a pension is, or like they don't really exist anymore, right? Like I know my mother was in a school, social worker for a high school for like years and years. I think she has a very small pension. My Uncle Phil worked for the airlines. He has a very small pension. But I would have guessed the most common thing for a cop or a fire department's public service would have been a pension. So pension 101, what is the defined benefit pension for police officers?
Yeah, so it's a great question. And so you're exactly right. In the private sector, back in the 60s, 70s, and 80s, there was something called a defined benefit pension. And people are like, oh my gosh, what's defined benefit means? Well, it's the name, defined benefit, which means when you go to retire, your benefit or how much you're going to get paid is spelled out for you. So in the case of Pennsylvania police officers, they're covered under a state statute called Act 600. Act 600 says that if you reach age and years of service, and it may vary according to your local municipality, they may have an age 53 with 25 years of service. Usually the service is always 25 years, but every municipality in their collective bargaining agreement, the police are trying to get what the Pennsylvania state police have is age 50 and 25 years of service. Some municipalities have that, most of them don't, but they try to get age 50 and 25 years, but most commonly it's like age 55 and 25 years of service. So that means if you meet age and years of service, you get a defined benefit, which is 50% of your last 3 years salary. So if your last 3 years salary or your last 3 years W-2 income has been $100,000 a year as a police officer, you're going to get a $50,000 defined benefit plan for the rest of your life. It's very attractive because, again, like you said, the private sector doesn't have it. The only people that have defined benefit plans anymore are police and teachers. And lo and behold, our practice, we've been starting to get a lot of teachers as well because we understand how these defined benefit plans work. Now, the good thing about a defined benefit plan is that it's literally a payment made to you every month for the rest of your life. So if you're a 56-year-old police officer, you're going to get paid that $50,000, $60,000, $70,000 a year. Remember, again, it's 50% of your last 36 months of W-2.
Yeah, let's pause right there, Chris, because I gotta explain that math to me. So let's just say, keep it simple numbers, right? They make $100,000 each year for the last 3 years.
Yep.
So that means that the average would be $100,000.
Right.
So they would get $50K, $150K, or something. So just be $50K.
No, they get $50,000 a year for their pension. So it's 50% of your last 3 years. Yeah.
Okay, and that's every year.
Yep, they get that every year. It's
until
typically,
they die.
Yeah, until they die. And so that's the good news about it, is that you get this $50,000. Now, many times I say to couples, I'll have a police officer and his husband or wife retire, and I'll say to them, do you understand that your pension is the equivalent of having $1.2 million in bonds? And the wife looks at the husband like, we have $1.2 million? I'm like, you don't have it, but if you had $1.2 million, that's what I need to generate a $50,000 a year pension. So they get that pension. The good news is they get that $50,000 for the rest of their life. The bad news is we obviously have inflation. So if you retire at age 56 with a $50,000 a year pension, actuarially, you're probably going to live to 86. Now, I know some people say police officers die sooner. Yeah, maybe not. I mean, medicine is a lot better than it was 20 years ago. But the point being, you could be on a fixed or defined benefit pension for 30 years. And with inflation, that's going to eventually erode down your buying power. So defined benefit plans, defined benefit pensions are great. Don't get me wrong, but you got to do something in addition to that defined benefit pension in order to be able to retire reasonably.